Date is April 8, 2025. The time is 10 a.m. In attendance are Commissioners Eberline, Duncan, and Matari. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none. Public comment? Hearing none. We'll begin with our first item, Justice Building Update. It's a discussion item, and we have Director Jeff Voller here.
Good morning, Commissioners. Yes, David Mendez is out this week, so you get a report from me. We have 8 weeks until our targeted date of certificate of occupancy. So I know they are under the gun to get some things done, but remain on track. There are a few items that are going to kind of push it right to the very end. There was a delay on receiving the door order for the interior doors, but we're still should be on track to get those kind of right as we wrap up the project and get those installed. I know last week David mentioned there were a couple items he's tracking pricing on. We're still waiting on getting the finalized pricing on that, so I don't have any significant updates on that. In terms of progress, they're working on flooring on the lower levels, ceiling tiles on the lower levels, and then you'll see a lot of work around the outside of the building in terms of the hardscape landscapes. I know they were tying in the irrigation system this week, and then working on the rest of the remaining exterior site work. There will be a little bit of that will remain after we get the certificate of occupancy, but that'll allow us to get into the building and start our transition. David and I have been talking a little bit about that move-in process and what that will look like, and we're beginning talks with a couple companies that could potentially meet with us to look at what that move-in process would look like, how we can support our departments for moving over the existing things that they have in their offices that will need to be moved into the building, and help coordinate that process. I've been working with a couple of things that we need to do to wrap up to move into the building. I have a meeting later this week with Walter E. Nelson. They're the company that provides our toilet fixtures, so bathroom dispensers, toilet papers, that kind of thing. I'm going to be walking the building with them because they'll be providing that we need to install on all the bathrooms. That's owner-provided equipment that we need to take care of, so working on those types of things over the next couple of weeks. I mentioned last week that we were looking at pricing for additional exterior window blinds as well as interior window blinds, and we're still waiting for pricing on that. It is with the manufacturer right now. We're getting word that their estimating department is backed up again because of tariffs, so they've had a rush on orders. So that's something that we could have some potential challenges with as well. But that's not something that's critical to the move-in or the occupancy of the building. But we'll continue to work through that. I'll provide some more information so we can at least talk about options of what we might want to consider doing for that as we move forward. So that's what I have for updates. With any questions?
Questions, comments?
Yes. What about the tariffs?
In terms of, well, I mean, the bulk of our products are ordered. So we did get confirmation that the furniture has been ordered, so we won't have any additional pricing on that. We're locked
So we're in good for that.
We're good and locked in on the pricing that they quoted us. So that order's been confirmed that it's been placed. Like I said, the bulk of the orders for the building, to my knowledge, are prepaid or are already in place. So, there could be some small adjustments. We're still looking at that beam seating for outside the courtrooms. We haven't ordered that yet. That pricing that I gave you guys a couple weeks ago is just something I found quoted on the website. So, I don't know if that type of pricing will change as we get ready to place orders, but we'll bring that before you with final order and pricing before we place anything.
Thank you.
Yes.
Questions, comments? The only question I have is you've done this before with some fairly large projects. We're 8 weeks out for our certificate of occupancy. In your opinion, are we doing everything? Are we on track for meeting that goal?
Yeah, I think we are. Boughton's been really good at working through any issues that are coming up. Working through final inspections. So, the only thing that I could see delay that is if the door order, for example, is pushed off again. Right now the confirmation says that we will have them in time to get them installed. But until we have that product on site, we can't fully 100% guarantee that, but I know they're doing everything they can to push that and make sure that does happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
Welcome.
All right, that's item number one. Next up, item number 2, Veterans Town Hall request. It's the discussion item. And Tom Freeman, are you on the phone?
Yes, Commissioner, I'm on the phone.
It's your show. Go ahead and tell us what.
Okay. Got it. Sorry, I think there's a delay on the phone line here. So on May 21st, there's going to be a Veterans Town Hall, which is going to take place at NIC and is sponsored by the American Legion and Idaho Division of Veteran Services Community Outreach Coordinator. Just a real quick background. This started out as an American Legion event, and IDVS outreach coordinator got involved, and that morphed, and now IDVS is taking lead, and they're aware that we put on a very successful town hall last year. So Idaho Division of Veteran Services has been reaching out to me, and then now I'm involved in helping out, but I am not the lead. But nonetheless, it's going to be a very similar town hall to what we put on with Commissioner Brooks last year. And so with that, we're looking to get some county resources, potentially utilize Jonathan and his resources in the BOCC, and potentially some commissioner support, specifically yourself, Commissioner Matari. So what I'm asking for from the board is if we do need some resources from Jonathan in the county, that we have permission to utilize those resources for this event.
And can you kind of elaborate on what you think those resources might be?
Just maybe connecting into using some of the communication assets that we have so we can broadcast it online, either through YouTube or what's the other one that people normally use for group events online, where people can log in.
Or like Zoom or something?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, something like Zoom. So we may need some technical expertise, to get those electronics set up. And Jonathan has some expertise in that, and he's willing to assist. But again, we need the BOCC's approval, to get his assistance with that. We don't see a lot, where this is going to be a large cost or a large time sink.
So it would be using North Idaho College's equipment and then having Jonathan there to help operate it.
Yes. And then maybe add to make the meeting as accessible as possible to those that are not in attendance.
Okay. Thoughts, questions? It's fine. Commissioner Eberlein?
Nope.
Okay with you? Okay. Well, I think you have direction.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Commissioners.
All right. Thank you. That concludes our business items. Public comment. Hearing none. 10:08. Meeting adjourned.